Hello there. We are not talking about Don Battery today, who is a professor at the University of Texas at Austin, which I'm looking at because Texas is weird, Austin particularly, and I think that sounds like fun. They're doing cool research. This man, this is the picture he chose to put up. Here we have Scott Aronson, who is delightful. He's been on the Lex Friedman show. Here is Risto. The bad guy in Death Stranding, all we all know and love. This guy who's done some talks on Transformers, I'm pretty sure, on the internets. Just like a bunch, like the people, it's a very impressive lineup of profs. I know, what must I say? Universities get a bit of a bad rap, but the Beetle people, the professors themselves, fucking love them. They're fucking awesome. Here's a paper. We're not talking about it. What we are talking about is surreal numbers. Now, why would we do such a thing? Because they're really important and very, very. I'm currently in the hipster phase. Where like I thought they were before they were cool, and that is true. But the reason we're talking about them is because one of the next videos I'm going to put out is sort of a proposal I'm putting forth. Basically, I might eventually finish writing the actual paper for this thing, but I just want to get it out there. Writing papers and clean code is hard, so I'm kind of pitching it sort of as more of like an idea/idea paper. But before we do that, I thought it would behoove anyone wanting to understand what are these surreal numbers that I am so hot for, that we would read a short, it's very short, little novelette by Donald fucking Knuth. He is like the god of modern computing, definitely like modern theoretical computing, and a ton of other stuff. I won't pretend to understand his full CV, but let's have a little fun. Here's Don Knuth talking about his wife and how they met. Just a little excerpt. You can feel free to.
Well, anyway, Jill is the one that I eventually got pinned
There's Echo.
to and engaged to and married to, and we've been married now for 45 years. And Jill and I started having dates in the library where we would study together, and um, I found that I enjoyed kisses for the first time when they came from her. Um, in high school, I was afraid to kiss girls, even when they would stand on. I mean, I was dating a girl in high school who was about 4.5 feet tall. Um, don't remember her name anymore, but I remember that she was real cute. I always liked short girls because they seemed to have a good balance. They didn't fall over as easily as tall ones. And I being tall, I was, but she was a cheerleader, and she stood on the steps of her house and with her lips turned up, and I figured I got to kiss her, but I've never done this before. How am I going to do it? And so I did, but I never realized how good it could be until I kissed Jill when I was a sophomore.
Come on, that is the most adorable story. Um, Don Knuth, legend. I think my favorite thing from his that just helps me think more clearly about the world is Big O notation. Basically comparing. It's a very useful way to compare things. Um, not going to go into Big O notation. We're talking about surreal numbers. What are surreal numbers? A creation, discovery. He would claim discovery. He's a Platonist of John Conway. Legend. He died in the year 2020 to the coronavirus. Fuck you, coronavirus. But it is a type of number, which is bizarre that there are different types of numbers. I think that alone is something you could think about for a long time. That there are different ways of having things. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can have nice things, because we have so many different ways of, having shit. So, the first time one of the reasons I'm akin, that's not the right word, fond, whatever, of the YouTube thing is because I was at the gym. Yes, I used to go to the gym quite often, and doing the weights. I was doing some leg presses. Only bitches skip leg day, like I do often now. And I was learning about mathematics. There was some number file things and whatever, but there was some random gal who was talking about different types of infinity, because that's something I thought sounded immensely fascinating and salubrious. I don't know what that word means, but it popped into my brain. So I was going to say elucidating and wanted to say a different one. She talked about reals, hyperreals, and that sort of thing. And one of the number systems mentioned were surreal numbers. So I spent some time up in the mountains of North Georgia trying to grapple with them. Couldn't really get it, but I felt that there was something there. So then I went to New York, got a master's, and while there, losing my mind, I really spent some time getting into this stuff. And more about the kind of implications and what kind of you could do with them. And sort of like if this was your foundation, like literally like your foundation for knowledge. I can't remember if that's epistemology or etymology. Etymology is for words, right? I think that's epistemology. You're like how you do knowledge. If you start from surreal numbers, what happens? What happens, which the implications of that are kind of what the next video is about. But today we're just getting into what are they, and there are a few points that I in particular want to focus on, one of which is the sort of statement, axiom, whatever, of I can never remember if it's not less than or not greater than, but it is a statement of not something. So it's a statement of kind of a lack of information, and that is sort of being the immense moment from which surreal numbers quite literally emerge. Maybe we'll talk about projective geometry, a field of mathematics I feel needs more love. Not that I know much about pure mathematics, other than having my own personal existential quandaries and not wanting death to be a thing. So I ask questions and I try and answer them. I don't know. Okay. How two ex-students turned on to pure mathematics and found total happiness. Mathematical Novelette by Donald E. Knuth. Living legend. Surreal numbers. There's a number file video of Don Knuth actually talking about his wife yet again. I think he liked her, or still does. I don't know. They're old. They're very old. But he went to a hotel because he and his wife wanted to experience kind of what it would be like to sort of kind of like have an affair. Kinky. So they went to this, it was like in like the Alps or something like that. Beautiful hotel. Super like old, kind of think The Shining. Can't remember the name of that hotel, but that hotel. Think that vibe. And he spent a week writing this little book, and his story of like how he wrote it is really cute. It's really cute. Basically, Donald Knuth, most adorable man alive. Could be. Slap that in a YouTube thumbnail. All right, Chapter 1, The Rock. The form of the novelette is in the form of a... You could do it as a play, actually, which would be fucking awesome. It occurs between Alice and Bill, who are just placeholder kind of characters. They're not really... There's not, like, backstory to them. Okay, so Alice is A, Bill is B. You get it. Bill, do you think you've found yourself? What? I mean, here, on the edge of the Indian Ocean, miles away from civilization. It's been months since we ran off to avoid getting swept up in the system and to find ourselves. I'm just wondering if you think we've done it. Hey, that works. Nice. Actually, Alice, I've been thinking about the same thing. These past months together have been really great. We're completely free. We know each other and we feel like real people again, instead of like machines. I will get off my high horse. Machines are great. Don't be racist. Speciest? But lately, I'm afraid I've been missing some of the things we've escaped from. You know, I've got this fantastic craving for a book to read. Any book. Even a textbook. Even a math textbook. It sounds crazy, but I've been lying here wishing I had a crossword puzzle to work on. I have a math textbook I've been working through somewhere around here, but I've lost it for the time being. Don't tell the owner. I need to give it back to him. Oh, come on. Not a crossword puzzle. That's what your parents like to do. What would you... When Donald Knuth is calling someone a boomer, what are they called? What's the generation before it? The silent generation, I guess. That's really funny. Don Knuth's making a boomer joke. Come on. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. What an ageist fellow. Oh, come on. Not a crossword puzzle. That's what your parents like to do. But I know what you mean. We need some mental stimulation. It's kind of like the end of summer vacations when we were kids. In May every year, we couldn't wait to get out of school, but the days simply dragged on until vacations started. But by September, we were real glad to be back in the classroom. Of course, a loaf of bread, a jug of wine, and thou beside me, these days aren't exactly dragging on, but I think maybe the most important thing I've learned on this trip is that the simple romantic life isn't enough for me. I need something complicated to think about. Well, I'm sorry I'm not complicated enough for you. Why don't we get up and explore some more of the beach? Maybe we'll find some pebbles or something that we can use to make up some kind of game. Yeah, that's a good idea. But first, I think I'll take a little swim. Me too. Bet you can't catch me. Hey, what's that black rock half buried in the sand over there? Search me, I've never seen anything like it before. Look, it's got some kind of graffiti on the back. Let's see. Can you help me dig it out? It looks like a museum piece. Heavy, too. The carving might be some old Arabian script? No, wait, I think it's maybe some Hebrew. Let's turn it around this way. Hebrew? Are you sure? Well, I learned a lot of Hebrew when I was younger, and I can almost read this. I heard there hasn't been much archaeological digging around these parts. Maybe we found another Rosetta Stone or something. What does it say? Can you make anything out? Wait a minute. Give me a chance. Up here, the top right, is where it starts. Something like, in the beginning, everything was void and... Far out! That sounds like the first book of Moses in the Bible. Wasn't he wandering around Arabia for 40 years with his followers before going up to Israel? You don't suppose. No, it goes on much different from the traditional account. Let's lug this thing back up to our camp. I think I can work out a translation. Bill, this is wild! Just what you needed! Yeah, I did say I was dying for something to read, didn't I? Although this wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I can hardly wait to get a good look at it. Some of the things are kind of strange, and I can't figure out whether it's a story or what. There's something about numbers, and it seems to be broken off at the bottom. The stone was originally longer. The plot thickens. A good thing, or we'd never be able to carry it. Of course, it'll just be our luck to find out that the message is getting interesting right when we come to the broken place. Here we are. I'll go pick some dates and fruit for supper while you work out the translation. Too bad languages aren't my thing, or I try to help you. Okay, Alice, I've got it. There are a few doubtful places, a couple signs I don't recognize. You know, maybe some obsolete word forms. Overall, I think I know what it says, and though I don't know what it means, here's a fairly literal translation. In the beginning, everything was void, and J.H.W.H. Conway, John. Oh, that's a Yahweh joke. I didn't get that, however many times I've read this. John Conway began to create numbers. Conway said, "Let there be two rules which bring forth all numbers, large and small. This shall be the first rule. Every number corresponds to two sets of previously created numbers, such that no member on the left set is greater than or equal to any member of the right set. And the second rule shall be this. One number is less than or equal to another number if and only if no member of the first number's left set is greater than or equal to the second number, and no member of the second number's right set is less than or equal to the first number." And Conway examined these two rules he had made, and behold, they were very good. And the first number was created from the void left set and the void right set. Conway called this number 0, and said that it should be a sign to separate positive numbers from negative numbers. Conway proved that 0 was less than or equal to 0, and he saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the day of 0. On the next day, 2 more numbers were created, with 0 as its left set, and 1 with 0 as its right set. And 1 with 0 as its right set, not 1. And Conway called the former number 1, and the latter he called -1. And he proved that -1 is less than, but not equal to, 0. And 0 is less than, but not equal to 1. In the evening, ... That's where it breaks off. Are you sure it reads like that? More or less. I dressed it up a bit. But Conway, that's not a Hebrew name. You've got to be kidding. No, honest, of course. The old Hebrew writing doesn't show any vowels, so the real name might be Kinawu or something. Maybe related to the Khans? I guess not. Since I'm translating into English, I just used an English name. Look, here are the places where it shows up on the stone. The JHWH might also stand for Jehovah. Memory is a fickle bitch. No vowels, eh? So it's real. But what do you think it means? Your guess is as good as mine. These 2 crazy rules for numbers. Maybe it's some ancient method of arithmetic that's been obsolete since the wheel was invented. It might be fun to figure them out. Tomorrow. But the sun's going down pretty soon, so we better eat and turn in. Okay, but read it to me once more. I want to think it over. And the first time I didn't believe you were serious. In the beginning. Chapter 2. Symbols. I think your Conway stone makes sense after all, Bill. I was thinking about it during the night. So was I, but I dozed off before getting anywhere. What's the secret? It's not so hard, really. The trouble is that it's all expressed in words. The same thing can be expressed in symbols. And then you can see what's happening. Hopefully. You mean we're actually going to use the new math to decipher this old stone tablet? I hate to admit it, but that's what it looks like. Here, the first rule says that every number x is really a pair of sets. Every number x is really a pair, it's 2 things, of sets. Called the left set XL and the right set XR. So x is actually the left set and the right set. Wombo combo. That ain't Falco. Happy feet. Wait a sec. You don't have to draw in the sand. I think we still have a pencil and some paper in my backpack. Just a minute. Here, use this. They write it again. These, XL and XR, left set and right set, are not just numbers, they're sets of numbers. They're buckets of shit. And each number in the set is itself a pair of sets. And so on, ad infinitum. Hold it, your notation mixes me up. I don't know what's a set and what's a number. Okay, I'll use capital letters for sets of numbers and small letters for numbers. Conway's first rule is that X is equal to the left set and the right set, where the left set is not greater than or equal to the right set. I think I'm going to get a tattoo of that. I do believe that is the most profound thing, the profound symbol in the world. This means if the left set, or if a member of the left set is any number in the left set, and if any member of the right set is any number in XR, the right set, they must satisfy that this member of the left set is not greater than or equal to a member of the right set. And that means a member of the left set is not greater than or equal to a member of the right set. So you compare for each little item in one bucket with every single item in the other bucket. Which would be rather computationally expensive, but we're not computing yet. We're just talking about some pure math, some number theory. Scratching his head. I'm afraid you're still going too fast for me. Remember, you've already got this thing psyched out, but I'm still at the beginning. If a number is a pair of sets of numbers, each of which is a pair of sets of numbers, and so on, how does the whole thing get started in the first place? What a great question. Good point. But that's the whole beauty of Conway's scheme. We are constructing reality from nothing. Literally. Each element of the left set and the right set must have been created previously. But on the first day of creation, there weren't any previous sets, numbers to work with. So, both the left set and right set were taken to be the empty set. I never thought I'd live to see the day when the empty set was meaningful. Shots fired. What an asshole. How dare you pick on the empty set, you cunt. Bill. That's really creating something out of nothing, eh? Insert me being angry at Solomon in Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. What are you, 5? There are many new things under the sun, and in particular today, we are generating for something from nothing. Welcome to Black Magic are us. It's not black magic, it exists in the Platonist world that we live in, whatever, maybe. I don't know. That's really something out of nothing, eh? But is the left set not greater than or equal to the right set? When the left set and the right set are both equal to the empty set? Basically, at the very beginning, does all their other shit hold true? Yes. How can you have something unequal to itself? Sounds like a paradox, but nay. Oh, yeah, that's okay, since it means no element. No, right? So, the container is the set. But a member of the set, little green ball, they're not the same. We are the same. No, we're not. We're not the same. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So it means no element, or green ball, of the empty set is greater than or equal to any element of the empty set. It's a true statement because there aren't any elements in the empty set. We have nothing to compare. We have no little green balls. So everything gets started all right, and that's the number called 0. Using the symbol not to stand for the empty set, we can write 0 is equivalent to not. Not in. Incredible. Inconceivable. Now, on the second day, it's possible to use 0 in the left or right set, so Conway gets 2 more numbers, -1 and 1. The -1 having not on the left and 0 on the right, and 1 having 0 on the left and not on the right. Let me see. Does this check out? For -1 to be a number, it has to be true that no element of the empty set is greater than or equal to 0. For -1 to be a number, it has to be true that no element of the empty set, there are no elements of the empty set, is greater than or equal to 0. There does not exist an element of the empty set that is greater than or equal to 0 because there is no element in the empty set. Right? We're trying to find something, we are asking for a thing, and it does not exist. And for 1, it must be that 0 is not greater than any element of the empty set. The empty set is empty. So 0, we want to check that 0 is not greater than any element of the empty set. Well, it is not greater, it is also not less, nor is it equal. So any comparison comes up no, which is delightful. That's what we're hoping for. Man, that empty set sure gets around. Someday I think I'll write a book called Properties of the Empty Set. You'd never finish. If the left or right set is empty, the condition left set greater than or equal to the right set is true no matter what in the other set. This means that, this is the spicy bit, this means that infinitely many numbers are going to be created. Okay, but what about Conway's second rule? All right, we'll go through this. I cannot recall when we lose the, sort of when we surpass the most weighty bits. That might have been it. My throat's getting all scratchy all of a sudden. Okay, but what about Conway's second rule? That's what you use to tell whether the left set is greater than or equal to the right set when both sets are non-empty for every other case. It's the rule defining less than or equal. Symbolically, x is less than or equal to y means that the left set is not greater than or equal to y. And x is not greater than or equal to y on the right side of the right set. Wait a minute, you're way ahead of me again. Look, the left set is a set of numbers, and y is a single number, which means, so y is not a set. We are not considering it as a set for the time being, which means a pair of sets of numbers. Which means a pair of sets of numbers. Yes. So it is a set, because every number in the surreal case is a set, but sometimes you treat it as if it is just a number, an atomic, monadic thing. What do you mean when you write the left set is not greater than or equal to y, something we consider to be a single number? I mean that every element of the left set satisfies that a number in the left set is not greater than or equal to y. In other words, no element of the left set is greater than or equal to y. In other words, no element of the left set is greater than or equal to y. Oh, I see. And your rule number 2 says also that x is not greater than or equal to any element of the right set. Let me check that with a text. Stone's version is a little different, but x is less than or equal to y must mean the same thing as y is greater than or equal to x. Yeah, you're right. Hey, wait a sec. Look at these carvings off to the side. I'm not going to pronounce this, you get it. These are the symbols I couldn't decipher yesterday, and your notation makes it all crystal clear. Those double dots separate the left set from the right set. End of sentence. You must be on the right track. Wow, equal signs and everything. That Stone Age carver must have used dash to stand for -1. I almost like his notation better than mine. I bet we've underestimated primitive people. They must have had complex lives and need for mental gymnastics just like us, at least when they didn't have to fight for food and shelter. We always oversimplify history when we look back. Nice little commentary from Don Knuth, which I would agree with. Yes, but otherwise, how could we look back? I see your point. In context. Nice, Don. Now comes the part of the text I don't understand. On the first day of creation, Conway proves that 0 is less than and equals less than or equal to 0. Goodness. Why should he bother to prove that something is less than or equal to itself, since it's obviously equal to itself? And then on the second day, he proves that -1 is not equal to 0. Isn't that obvious without proof, since -1 is a different number? I don't know about you, but I'm ready for another swim. Good idea. That surf looks good, and I'm not used to so much concentration. Let's go. Chapter 4. Bad Numbers. I've been working on that third day problem, and I'm afraid it's going to be pretty hard. When more and more numbers have been created, the number of possible sets goes up fast. I bet that by the 7th day, Conway was ready for a rest. Right, I've been working on it too, and I get 17 numbers on the third day. Really? I found 19. You must have missed 2. Here's my list. I see you're using the Stone's notation, but why did you include the empty set? That was created already on the first day. Well, we have to test the new numbers against the old in order to see how they fit in. But I only considered new numbers in my list of 17, so there must actually be 20 different at the end of the third day. Look, you forgot to include this one. Blinking. So I did. 20 by 20, that's 400 different cases we'll have to consider in Rule 2. A lot of work and not much fun either. But there's nothing else to do, and I know it'll bug me until I know the answer. Maybe we'll think of some way to simplify the job once we get started. Yeah, that would be nice. Well, I've got one result. 1 is less than 1 on the left, not on the right. First, I had to prove that 0 is not less than or equal to 1 on the left, not on the right. I've been trying a different approach. Rule 2 says we have to test every element of the left set to see that it isn't greater than or like y. But it shouldn't be necessary to make so many tests. If any element of the left set is greater than or equal to y, then the largest element of the left set ought to be greater than or equal to y. Sorting your data set can save a damn lot of time. Similarly, we need only test x against the smallest element of the right set. Mwah! Masterpiece. Yeah, that ought to be right. I can prove that 1 is less than the set containing 0 and 1 on the left and not on the right, just like I proved it was less than 1 on the left, not on the right. The extra 0 and XL in the left set didn't seem to make any difference. What do we do on stomach? It doesn't know. If what I said is true, it will save us a lot of work because, put it in big O notation, I believe we get close to constant. If what I said is true, it will save us a lot of work because each number, the left and right set, will behave in all less than or equal to relations exactly as if the left set were replaced by its largest element and the right set by its smallest. I will mention projective geometry. We convert an infinity into a single point. We take the top to put in the data structure vernacular. We take the top element, and it's all we need to know. So, pretty cool. Yes. We won't have to consider any numbers in which the left or right set have 2 or more elements. 10 of those 20 numbers in the list will be eliminated. I'm not sure I follow you, but how on earth can we prove such a thing? What we seem to need is something like this. If x is less than y, and y is less than z, then x is less than or equal to z. Is that just the transitive property? I don't see that this follows immediately, although it is consistent with everything we know. At any rate, it ought to be true if Conway's numbers are to be at all decent. We could go ahead and assume it, but it would be neat to show once and for all that it is true, just by using Conway's rules. Yes, and we'd be able... Pardon me, I don't know what's... Yes, and we'd be able to solve the third day puzzle without much more work. Let's see, how can it be proved? Blast those flies, just when I'm trying to concentrate. Alice, can you... No, I guess I'll go for a little walk. Any progress? No, I seem to be going in circles. And the not greater than or equal to versus less than or equal to is confusing. Everything is stated negatively, and things get incredibly tangled up. Maybe Rule 1 isn't true, but it has to be true. Wait, that's it. We'll try to disprove it, and when we fail, the cause of our failure will be a proof. Math is weird. Sounds good. It's always easier to prove something wrong than to prove it right. Destruction is fun. Suppose we've got three numbers, x, y, and z, for which x is less than or equal to y, and y is less than or equal to z, and x is not less than or equal to z. What does Rule 2 tell us about bad numbers like this? Well, it says that the left set is not greater than or equal to a member of the right set, and x is not greater than or equal to the right set, and the left set is not greater than or equal to z, and y is not greater than or equal to the right set, a different right set. Saying this out loud is useless. I'd love somebody to be listening. This is like a podcast sort of thing and not looking at it. Just being like, what the fuck is this? If that's you, hello. What's wrong with you? Get some help. And then also, x, the number, is not less than or equal to z, which means what? It means one of two conditions fails. Either there is a number in the left set, either there is a number, x, in the left set, it's not the same, for which that number in the left set is greater than or equal to z. Or there is a number z in the right set, for which x is greater than or equal to that number in the right set. With all of these facts about x, y, and z, we ought to be able to prove something. Well, since xl is in our left set, it can't be greater than or like y. Say it's less than y. Y is less than or equal to z. So xl must be. No, sorry, I can't use facts about numbers we haven't proved. Going the other way, we know that y is less than or equal to z, and z is less than or equal to xl, and y is not less than or equal to xl. So this gives us three more bad numbers, and we can get more facts again. But that looks hopelessly complicated. Bill, you've got it. Way to go, Bill. Getting your shit back together. I like it. Have I? If xyz, pdq, are three bad numbers, there are two possible cases. Case number one. Some element of the left set is greater than or equal to a member of the right set, of z. Then yz, xl are three more bad numbers. Case number two. Some z in our right set is less than or equal to x. Then z in the right set, x and y are three more bad numbers. But aren't you still going in circles? There's more and more bad numbers all over the place. No. In each case, the new bad numbers are simpler than the original ones. How the fuck do you get that? One of them was created earlier, and we can't go on and on finding earlier and earlier sets of bad numbers. So there can't be any bad sets at all. Don't ask me to explain this shit. This is the proof, right? I care about the implication. It checks out. I'm glad. I trust you, Conway. I trust you, Don. Brightening. Oh ho! I love that phrase. Oh ho. And hello from Lord of the Rings. I love that. What you're saying is each number x was created on some day dx, not calculus. If there are three bad numbers x, y, z for which the sum of their creation days is dx plus dy plus dz equivalent to n, then one of your two cases applies and gives three bad numbers whose day sum is less than n. Those in turn will produce a set whose day sum is still less, and so on. But that's impossible since there are no three numbers whose day sum is less than 3. Do we sound crazy now? Yes, right. The sum of the creation days is a nice way to express the proof. If there are no three bad numbers, x, y, z, whose day sum is less than n, the two cases show that there are none whose day sum equals n. I guess it's a proof by induction on the day sum. You and your fancy words. It's the idea that counts. True, but we need a name for the idea so we can apply it more easily next time. Yes, I suppose there will be a next time. Okay, I guess there's no reason for me to be uptight anymore. Worship me. Worship me. Come on. Come on. Come on. I deserve everything. I deserve the peanut butter and the honey. Milk and honey. Bitches. Bitches. I'm talking bitches. Transitive property. Did I call it? Did I? Or did I not? Did I look at that? That's the fucking transitive property. I'm looking at symbols. I see them. My mind peers through, breaks through reality to the fundamental construction of what it is. Woo. Oh ho. I'm feeling good about myself. Okay, I guess there's no reason for me to be uptight anymore. Let's get fucking spicy bitch about the new math jargon. You know it, and I know it. We've just proved the transitive law. Sigh. Not bad for two amateur mathematicians. It's funny to think like Don Knuth and John Conway are like some of the best mathematicians of all time. It's cute. It was really your doing. Oh, look at the man being nice to the woman. Hell yes, I'm into that. Let's get over sexism. I'm so bored of it. Hell yeah. It was really your doing. I hereby proclaim that the transitive law, T1, shall be known henceforth as Alice's theorem. Way to go, Alice. Fuck yeah. Come on, I'm sure Conway discovered it long ago. But does that make your efforts any less creative? No, but it does mean you can't monetize them for shit. Welcome to my life. I bet every great mathematician started by rediscovering a bunch of well-known results. Gosh, let's not get carried away about... Blah. Gosh, let's not get carried away dreaming about greatness. Let's just have fun with this. Yeah, but we're going to make a buck at some point. How the fuck do you do that? I was thinking about, like, this is true for, like, every company. If you invent something, the company owns it. But I thought the whole point of capitalism was that, like the whole point was that it incentivized invention. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? And it doesn't. Not the point. Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay. That's the book. That's the book. Fucking hell, that is dense. I can, like, feel it. Like, physically, I can, like, feel the mental strain. It's a weird... Pure math is, like, a very different type of mental strain. Okay, I think surreal numbers are very useful. Why that is in my paper that I lost. Totally lost it. I don't know where. I think I deleted it. But the code, it's got it all. It's literally like one line equation where you negate the reward, or you perturb it in the negative direction. It doesn't matter. But I think we can sort of weaponize this mathematical construction to do amazing things. I'm very excited for it as a component in the broader scope of what it is to be a self. I'm not shitting you when I say I want to take existential existential philosophy and make it an adjustable, real thing that we fiddle with. Yes. Yes.